All right, if you're ready to be triggered, let's go for it. And so many of y'all like that. Georgia may be the premier program in the country, but all those rings on Nick Saban's fingers still carry too much weight to overcome. That was CBS when they were talking about putting Nick Saban at number one over Kirby Smart as the number one coach in college football. I don't see how you can put Kirby over Nick right now. And let me be more clear with that. Nick is the greatest college football coach of all time. I mean, Bear Bryant is great. He was really good. But, Bear Bryant wasn't dealing with what Nick Saban's dealing with or dealt with. And Nick did it at more than one place, if that matters. However, there's nobody doing it better today than Kirby. It's just not. And, the last 2 years certainly emphasize that or put an exclamation point on it. But he's probably been doing it better than a lot of people. Well, probably been doing it better than everybody for a while. I don't know. In 19 you had a very strange national championship with LSU. They had arguably the best college football player of all time in a season in Joe Burrow, throwing to some really, really, really good wide receivers at LSU. Secondly, in 2020, not to dismiss it at all. I mean, Nick winning his most recent national championship. Georgia was a discombobulated mess at quarterback. But, I would say since they left the field of the Sugar Bowl, it's hard to say there's been a better program than Georgia in that time because, Clemson's fallen by the wayside. Georgia's won more national championships than Alabama in that time. LSU was a one-hit wonder. I do not think that will be the case as we go on, by the way. And it remains to be seen what happens with Clemson. But I think it is correct to say when the question is posed, who is the best coach in college football? The correct answer is dependent upon if you're talking about today, right now, or if you're talking about the longevity of it. Right now, it's Kirby. However, all time, it's Nick. And, what we do as a society is count rings. That's what we do. I mean, you want to have, God knows, you want to have the Jordan LeBron debate. I mean, I'm so tired of it because people half the time don't know what they're talking about. But it's hard to put LeBron in front of Jordan only because of the ring discussion. Two things can be true at the same time, though. The notion that MJ would be able to physically hang with LeBron in a one-on-one contest is hard for me to really get behind because LeBron is Gronkowski playing basketball. So but all we do is, count rings. I mean, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. No, he's not the most physically gifted. So in this instance, it's going to be hard to put Kirby past Nick until he wins 6 or more national championships. And I do think to some degree they have to come at Nick's expense. Now, one did come at Nick's expense. And one for Nick came at Kirby's expense. So, I mean, it would really be a disservice to all of us, and this is probably what's going to happen. It would really be a disservice to all of us if they never played for a national championship again. I mean, people want the Lakers and Celtics. People want the Cowboys and Steelers. I mean, they want the Yankees to play, in this scenario, the Braves. They want these gigantic matchups. Notice I didn't say anything about the Falcons, those losers. But we probably won't get another Georgia-Alabama national championship game. I mean, I would bet against it just because it's so hard to happen. It's very challenging for those things to happen. Make sure that you are picking up our 2023 preview where I talk about Georgia not playing Alabama in the national championship game. That's not really everything that's in here. But there are all sorts of articles you're not going to see elsewhere, position by position breakdown. Also talking about Georgia's run defense. Sorry for the glare there. I don't always do a great job with the glare situation. And it was something about each team. It's a really slick little magazine. If you want that, you can pick it up down below. You will get it for free with Double Dogs. If you buy Double Dogs, you've not gotten Double Dogs yet, go ahead and grab it. You'll get the magazine with you. You can get this down below. You can also pick it up from our friends at Red Zone. You can tell I use lights, don't you? Our little studio, just in time for COVID, which I did not see coming. We knew where we were going, but I didn't realize how fast it would happen. But yeah, we have lights in here. But make sure that you're picking those up today. I think it's a nuanced thing. I was talking to somebody today at lunch. There's somebody ordering the book, which gets the magazine right there. Sorry, had an alert. Nuance is so important. And what I'm saying is a very nuanced thing here, which is that I don't know how you can put Kirby in front of Nick right now. But I think there needs to be an acknowledgement from people, and if you don't understand this, I don't know what to tell you, that Kirby is the best doing it right now. He's the best in college football right now, no matter who wins the national championship this coming season. If it's Ryan Day or Kirby or Dabo or the guy at Oklahoma State whose name escapes me, Crazy Town. Any of these guys, the trajectory that Georgia has built up is because of what Kirby's done. I felt like personally a season ago after the national championship that Kirby had moved past Dabo, and then so I don't think it can be exclusively a ring conversation. It's what we do, but I don't think it's exclusively a ring conversation. If I were starting a program, Dabo is a great fit at Clemson. I don't know that he'd be a great fit at other places. Let's just say who would have more success at Florida? Let's say Billy Napier gets fired tomorrow. Who is the best choice to replace him? Would you take Dabo or Kirby? I would take Kirby immediately. I would not have a discussion about it. There are a lot of scenarios where I would take Brian Kelly over Dabo, frankly. And there's another one. Well, I appreciate y'all ordering because that's how we, get some of this stuff done. I think the coach has to be a fit for their place. I think Kirby is an excellent fit at Georgia. I think he could win in a lot of places. I think Nick is the perfect fit at Alabama. I think he could win in a lot of places. I think Brian Kelly, in theory, should really do well at LSU because of LSU and the fact that he's such a very good coach. But we're going to see. I think that they should win a national championship under Brian Kelly. And then you've got other places where the fit may look good on paper, but like Jimbo at Texas A&M, Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame, Lincoln at SC. I don't know. I mean that should work, but we're gonna see if this stuff works out. I mean, what is success at Notre Dame? Is it the same as success at Georgia? I don't think it is, because at Notre Dame, they've not won a national championship in 30 years, basically. And that's a long time. So, what success is there when they always whining about, academic standards and all this stuff. I mean, 35 years, jeez. That's what Vanderbilt and Georgia Tech do. They whine about that. But they don't have, those schools don't have the reputation athletically that Notre Dame does. But it should be, in the near future, it should be Georgia, Alabama, LSU. It should be Ohio State and USC. It should be Michigan. And it should be either Clemson or Florida State, but it's going to be one. I don't think it's going to be both, because they both lose games they shouldn't lose. I mean, Florida State a season ago. I'm trying to remember who they lost to. It was a good season for Florida State. It was not a year where you're like they lost to Wake Forest and NC State. And Clemson, that score is closer than what that game was. That Clemson won that game 34-28. You should not lose to Wake Forest if you were at Florida State, and honestly, you shouldn't lose to NC State. So, not great for the Noles, but they look like they're going the right direction. They only beat the Gators by 7, so that's not great. But at the end of the day, Kirby over Nick, yeah, I think so. I mean, in the matter in speaking only in today, all of these rankings are subjective, obviously, but it is very nuanced for me. The best college football coach of all time, and has been for some time, is Nick. The best coach in college football right now, doing it today, is Kirby. And it's been like that, I would say, for a little bit of time. Now, how long? That's a good question.